Hello there and welcome to my garden. My name is Ann-Marie Powell and it is finally June and I'm so hopeful that it's kinder to us than May was. Now what should we be getting up to in this gorgeously long day and long evening month? Well, there's plenty to be doing. If you're lucky enough to have a lawn, make sure that you cut it once a week. That will mean that the sward can swell and new shoots can come up where they're needed, and that'll keep it lovely and fresh and green. Don't worry if June is a dry month, because if the lawn does get a little bit brown, it will come back an emerald green as soon as we get the rain coming down. Although quite frankly, we have had enough of that, haven't we? And of course, with these long days, with all our plants growing so well, the weeds are growing too. So keep your long-handled hoe close to hand. And for borders, I like using these hand tools, things like this long-handled hoe, and also this kind of scratchy thing, which really does get rid of those annual weeds. And of course, I'm a massive fan, as you know, of the Japanese hand tool, the hori hori. The other thing that we should be looking out for, of course, are our birds. They're feeding all of their fledglings at the moment. So make sure that they have a source of water, and always make sure that your bird feeders are topped up and that you clean them once a month to make sure that they're free of pests and disease. The final recommendation that I've got for you is to plant up your borders or some pots with summer bedding. There is no better way to get some vibrancy, some flower and some bloom into your lives. It really makes you feel good. So what are my top tips for container gardening? Well, choose a container that goes with your style and goes with your garden. There are tons available, aren't there? So you could go for steel, wicker, stone, GRP plastic, but I really love terracotta. I genuinely think it goes with any garden. It's so warm and comfortable. So anything can hold compost can be used as a pot, so long as it's got a drainage hole in the bottom. Now, I like to make sure that that drainage hole that ensures a plant's roots don't drown is covered with crocks, and these are just broken up old pots of terracotta. I cover up that hole to make sure that the water can drain out, and these just go on just to help the drainage. After that, I put a layer of gravel, maybe an inch or so. I find that terracotta, and do choose a frost-resistant terracotta pot, otherwise it will crack for you in winter. It does leach out a lot of water, and containers, plants rely on us to keep them alive. It's an alien environment for them, and we have to make sure that they are kept watered. So if you line it, and this is just an old compost bag with some holes punched through the bottom, it just makes sure that water is kept in there for that little bit longer, but it can still escape if there's a little bit of excess. Now just pop that bag into your pot, put a little bit more gravel on the top, and then we can get going with our compost. Now I'm using this compost, which I absolutely love. It's produced from households green waste in Hampshire, which is where I live. So it's peat free, and just look at it. It's so earthy and smells good actually. So just full of nutrients. So I've put some in a bucket here, mixed up with some gravel just to add again for drainage, and I'm just going to pour that into my pot, just into the bag. In it goes. Now the next thing, remembering that plants rely on us for all of their food and nutrients, is just to give them a bit of pep, is I'll add just a little bit of fish blood and bone, and that is a slow release fertiliser with lots of trace elements, and I'll just mix it up with my hands. Now we're about at the right level to add our plants. So how do you choose your plants? Again, choose the ones you like. And I've got tons to choose from here. Things like petunias, pechoas, and even a good old fuchsia. So this one is called Eruption, and you can see that it has these beautiful, pendulous, bright cerise pink flowers. And the pots that I want to use, I want them to buzz with energy and life. So that will go into the middle of the planter. And then I'm going to surround it with a mix of gorgeous petunias. And this one's a grandiflora petunia. Look at that scarlety, gorgeous pink. What a buzz that's going to have. And I'm going to pop a few of those around the pot. So 3 will go in there for me. And then in between, I've got these teeny tiny, gorgeous petunias. And these are called Black Velvet. Now this is a plug plant, and you can see that it arrives just full of roots, and that's wonderful because as soon as it gets into this soil it will explode into life. So that will go in there, and I will pop these all around the edge of the pot. A little bit of backfilling. Oops, take the plants out of the pot first. So just squeeze them out. Lots of roots, good plants. So now I've arranged them. In they go. And if you deadhead these regularly, water them daily, feed them weekly, and pinch them out every time you see a flower going over, just take it off just about, use my secateurs, just about here. These pots will flower for months. A quick backfill, and then a final covering, again with horticultural grit, just to keep the water in. And honestly, these will make you happy, as I say, for months. And what this decorative grit does is it just keeps more water in, it keeps the weeds out, and it gives a really good decorative finish. I'll give this a good old drink now with a watering can. And that's really important. I'll water this once a day, maybe twice in hot weather. I'll feed it once a week with a general fertiliser liquid. I like to use my worm juice from my wormery, but you could use tomato feed. And yeah, just pinch out any of the dead flowers and it will just keep on blooming for you for months. So that's one down, about 20 or more to go. I'd best get on. See you soon.